Oh,
So, first and foremost, we are live on the YouTubes, just shooting the shit and all that. So, Tim, what's new and exciting?
not a whole hell of a lot. I had my mind blown a couple days ago. My brewery informed me that June, July, and August are their slow time.
What?
Yeah. Um, Apparently, nobody comes to Sarnia in the summertime. And if they do, they go over to the river. They don't go
Okay.
over to the other side of town. So we're pretty much dead.
Uh, yeah, and I mean, no festivals or anything going on.
We have a couple coming up. Not many that are that exciting, but I'm just more trying to get the brew house cranking out some beer and filling up that fridge. And our we use TNG as our what you call it? Oh,
It's late on a Saturday. I get it.
yeah, it is. It's been a long week. Oh my lord. Distribution. Sorry, I had a brain fart. So how you been?
Oh, I'm all right. Today was my last shift at the job I was at. I start my new one on Monday, so.
Oh yeah, excited about that?
Yeah, I'm excited. Always excited. I hate starting new jobs, but still excited. I'm excited that I'll be able to afford better things than like Minhas products.
True.
I bought these to review them, and unfortunately, they only sell their stuff in 12 packs, and I just have not had the urge to finish them. So we'll get rid of at least one today.
Yeah, like I was saying yesterday, I'm trying to get a masala chai white stout off the ground right now, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious how that's going to turn out. I'm sort of excited about that, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want all those Eastern tasting notes and the classic look of a nice nitro, just to make it a little different than the stuff that's out there.
Now, what else is in Sarnia right now? I know Refined Fool was out there.
Yep.
Is there much else?
There's a couple other smaller ones. There's Stone Picker that's pretty close to here. We've got Strathroy and London fairly close. So, I see you like that one.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, honey, can you hand me one of the cans that you're drinking? This one will be coming out to the LCBO. I believe right now it's available.
Okay.
Go the other way. Try to get the shine off of it. So it's a cerveza style Mexican lager.
It's a pretty awesome can.
Right? They nailed that one. So, yeah, I just canned. We just got a brand new canning line, and I've been playing with it for the last month or so. And it's a nice wild goose, so top of the line, so you can't really screw it up much. So I think yesterday I did 4,000 cans in about 4 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Does it have a long warm up life like some of the canning lines where you get a whole bunch of low fills at first?
Nope.
No.
I set my time in between fills to about second and a half, and adjust the each of the four heads. Once I do a blowout of the line and get all the air out of it, runs like a dream.
Nice. I still remember working on the old ones where you'd get like 4 or 5 cases of low fills.
I've done 2 canning lines so far that have had less than 5 low fills.
Nice.
Yeah. So
technology, man, technology.
Yeah. And they got us in the deal for the canning line, they got us a Hoffman's Gehaltometer. It's like the C meter, but so much faster, so much easier to use. Those are a couple thousand, so I was pretty happy with that.
I really wish I could get that Berliner Weiss you made at Niagara College again. My wife still talks about it even.
I'm glad. I will have to make it.
Yeah, no, she's still gung ho on that one.
Nice. I love a good Berliner.
I have some Shiloh beer here.
Wow.
This came in the Amazing Clubs box, though. I got an Amazing Clubs subscription for my birthday.
Ah.
So we get some.
That's excellent.
Sorry, just like you, it's been a long week, and now I have some beers to drink.
I hear you. Bought myself a pizza oven, so I did that today, and a couple beers, and good to go.
Just regular electric pizza oven?
Gas.
Nice.
Yeah. Pop out on the deck and throw a couple pizzas in there. It's pretty tricky to start with.
Yeah, the only pizza ovens I ever really played with was when I worked at Pizza Hut, and those were fairly simple. You just threw it in and walked away, and did everything for you.
This is literally, it's old school. You got to heat the stone for 20 minutes, pop your pizza in, shut the heat off, kick it back on when you want the top of the pizza done. But it's pretty cool. It's one of the PC ones. Nothing too special.
Yeah, no, we're slowly getting things back, right? Because we came down from the Arctic in February, and we came down with just the clothes on our backs, so we're doing pretty good for how we came down. But we don't have many of the gadgets yet. I did splurge on a crappy Walmart barbecue. Just
there you go.
Have one, and then I splurged on a crappy Home Depot charcoal grill, just because I like both, and that's been the majority of the stupid spending we've done.
Yeah, the problem with being a brewer and moving every year or so is you don't hold on to big things like that.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it was the problem with us. We moved. We sold everything we owned when we went up to the Arctic. Then we sold a lot of what we owned when we moved communities, and then we sold everything we owned again before we came back out because it costs so much to ship the stuff out.
Exactly.
It's cheaper to just buy new.
Yep. Yeah. It was funny when we were moving out of Georgetown. I had a charcoal smoker, and I had it beside the house. And as we were leaving, I had it up for sale, and some guy said he wanted it, and then he didn't want it. So my wife, for like 5 minutes, put a sign out there, free, just take it. And within 5 minutes, the guy's like, I want it. So I went outside, took the sign off of it. I went back half an hour later. Everything was gone. I mean, everything. Oh, yeah.
No, we kind of do the same thing. I mean, like, I'll post on Facebook. I have a bunch of scrap metal and recycling in my alley, and within like 20 minutes, it's gone.
Yeah, I hear ya. So you're liking the new place?
Yeah, I've had no problems really with where we are. House. Well, we talked about the house and what it cost me. It was cheap as hell in comparison to anything I could have had in Ontario. Um, some things are more expensive here, like beer. Some things are cheaper, and I mean, I really like it. I love it's hot as hell, but at the same time, it's a dry heat. It's not like Ontario's humid heat where you sweat down your legs and everything. It's great. You find some shade and everything's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice coming from the Peterborough area down to Sarnia and realizing, oh shit, there's an eighth of the snow we used to get. But
Yeah, see,
then,
my snow is going to be the same as the Arctic snow, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was early May and it was like 30 degrees here. I'm like, I am not used to this.
No, we didn't hit. I think we hit like 30 a few days ago. Before that, it was just stupid. But I mean, the weather here is insane. It'll be like sunny as hell and hot, and then all of a sudden there's a torrential downpour, and then it's back to sunny, and it's intriguing.
Yeah.
And the sun is not albino friendly here. It's we're flat, we're high, we're not many trees to hide behind.
So many flat jokes for the Gap.
When we flew to Winnipeg. We rented a truck in Winnipeg, and we drove to Regina because it's like a 4-hour drive or so from Winnipeg to Regina.
Yeah.
And it was a straight line. Like, it was straight, and there was nothing. And we're like, wow.
And you can see your house from 200 miles away.
Yeah, I'm like, the flat Saskatchewan jokes are an Ontario thing, but wow. It's not far off.
Yeah. And the mosquitoes the size of small crows.
We haven't gotten those yet. We haven't hit mosquito season here yet.
I've been pulling out all the jokes because my son was offered a job on Victoria Island or Edmonton or Winnipeg. So
Winterpeg?
Yeah. So he's looking to take BC if he can.
Yeah, I mean, each one has something different to offer, right? Like Winnipeg is probably your most cost-effective city to live in.
I was just gonna say most economical.
Yeah, most economical, but also the most stabby of the three. Then I mean, Edmonton is Edmonton. BC is probably going to be the most expensive, but it's probably going to be the nicest of the three, I would think.
Yeah. Especially living right out on the island, I'm expecting him to. Well, right now he's in Peterborough. So the problem with Peterborough is there's not many places to rent. And it's a university town and a college town. And the landlord.
You're renting a room with 17 other people?
Yeah, at Toronto prices. So. And when he was checking out rents in Vancouver, he's like, I'll be getting double the pay and pretty much a third off the rent. So he's pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and BC's beautiful. And if he likes beer, BC is probably second only to Ontario.
Yep.
I mean, I know people in Quebec will hate me saying that.
Screw them.
I won't lie. I have had some great beers here in Saskatchewan, and I mean, there's so many beers I've never had, and so many breweries I had never had, and some of them are as good or better than some of the big hyped breweries in Ontario. But They're so dated. Beer is a big thing here. Like, there's so many beers that are over a year old still being sold at the brewery, and it's things like Kolsch's.
Seriously,
like, who still has a Kolsch after a year?
Yeah. That's no longer a Kolsch.
I bought a 4-pack of Kolsch's at one of the breweries, and I looked at the date after I got home, and it was like 18 months old, and I'm like, what is going on here?
18 months old.
Yeah, still tasted okay, but I'm like, what's going down?
Yeah, Well, in retrospect, so I'm actually always discussing with my manager, hey, I know you want more beer in that fridge, but I would rather brew it closer to the date that we need it because you end up putting it on sale when it's 5 months old.
Well, yeah, because you need to find that balance, right, between what you can have in your fridge and age.
Yep.
Now, I think part of the problem here is that most breweries only sell in 4-packs or 6-packs. So, and the price of beer is more money here. So if you're going to walk in and see a 6-pack of a Kolsch that's, well, let's say a 12-pack, because they have those in 12-packs too. So let's say you're walking in and you see their 12-pack of Kolsch sitting there at $50. You want to buy a 12-pack of Kolsch for $50 when you don't know what it tastes like.
And you sure as hell want to make sure it's fresh.
Yeah, you don't want it to be over a year old.
Right. Wow.
And that was right at the source. That wasn't like I found it at a bottle shop or something and they just sat on it. That was at the source.
That was at their, wow.
Excuse me.
Wow. So, yeah, the beer longevity in Saskatchewan is kind of like the brew house cleanliness of East Coast. Non-existent.
Oh yeah, I've seen some pretty pictures of some East Coast breweries.
Yeah.
No, like we have, I have a homebound brewing company, and their beers have been pretty good. I have the most of the stuff on my counter is like my review stuff, but like this one was, where is it? Oh, they have it on this side. This one was canned in, well, this one's the freshest of them all. This was September 2023. Most of their stuff was like January 2023.
Wow. So, what do they do? Brew once a year?
I'm trying to figure it out, but I think part of the problem is just the price. Like most 4-packs are about $20. I know that Ontario isn't too far off, but here it's $20, and then you have your taxes and your liquor taxes on top of that. So,
right.
So if you're going into a place, and I've had this conversation with a few brewery owners here. I'm like, you know what? You want to make me buy 4 beers at a time? I'm perfectly fine with that. But let me buy 4 singles, put them in the 4-pack, all that way. He's like, well, why would you want that? I go, because then I can try everything you have. You might actually make me a fan of something. But if I spend like $23 on a 4-pack and it sucks, I'm not coming back here for another 4-pack.
Yeah.
If I spend $23 on 4 different beers and one of them's really good, this one's okay, this one I didn't like, and this one's horrible, I'm still going to come back because I know this one was really good, this one was okay, so let's try something else and get the ones I liked.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't like that idea.
Every place I've been is you can buy singles, you can buy a 6-pack or whatever you'd like, a 4-pack, or you can buy a 4 or a 6 in various.
And that's, like I said, I don't care if you force me to buy 6 or 4 or whatever, but let me pick what I want.
Yeah.
Was Chris Tower in your class? I can't remember if he was your class or the class before.
He was the class before.
Okay, because he is here again. He's back in China, and it's been cool to be able to walk into a brewery and see somebody I knew. Right? Like that was fun. First off, making some good beers for them, finding his niche, and I mean, he's smart enough to know that his niche wasn't competing against the guys that have been around longer that make specific types of beers.
Yeah.
And I like when we were talking, he's like, we have our IPAs. He goes, but why would we make a whole bunch of IPAs when we're right down the street from Rebellion, who is the IPA king in this city? And then, I have my stout for the stout drinkers, but why would I make crap loads of stouts when I'm right down the street from the stout king? He goes, I got to find my niche. And my niche, I think, is making good, easy drinking lagers and stuff that everybody could touch and getting them at a better price point than the other guys. And he's done really well with that.
Yeah. Last time I saw Chris, we all went to a concert together when he was working at the 6 in Toronto. And then Collective Arts took over from there.
I've been trying to get together with him to do we were going to try and revive the Meet Your Local Brewer segment from the old Albino Rhino beer reviews.
Right.
And so we've been trying to get it to work, but between my schedule and his, it just hasn't meshed yet. But we text each other every few days going, I have this time available to you. And at some point I'll just end up there and I'll be drinking and he'll be there and we'll do it. But we're trying to plan it so I can actually go with the equipment to make it okay production value.
Yeah. You'll have to drive to Sarnia. Like I have anytime.
Well, I mean, we could do it sometime just like this.
Absolutely.
We'll plan it one night where it isn't like we'll plan it one night and do the questions.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. I've been busier than a one-legged ass kicker in a windstorm.
Like I said, I can't wait to be able to send you some money to get some of the stuff that you're making because I'm super excited. Super excited even about some of the stuff that's already there. I think the only thing I've had, the first two that made it to the LCBO were the only things I've had from there.
Right. So we had who's the Chris Hatfield? No. The Astro. Yeah, Chris Hatfield lent his name to the Goodbye Gravity, the astronaut from here from Sarnia.
Okay.
And that one's in the LCBO right now, as always. We had a passion fruit orange guava that was in there for a while, and now that's been swapped out for that cerveza I just showed you.
Yeah, no, the London Pog, was it? The London Pog was one of the ones that made it to the LCBO at one point when I was still... But that would have been way before your time.
Yeah, way.
And
that's when the owners were still brewing.
That was one I actually did not mind. And then there was the first beer, and that was the one that when you told me you started working there, you're like, we need to make things better for you. Because the first beer from them, I remember not liking at all.
Yeah.
And I think I was still up in Pavernatuk when I had that one. I think Brian had picked it up for me and sent it up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we've gotten a bunch of Canada Golds and Silvers lately. So that's when Jason Wintergarden was the... I can't remember Jason's last name. Son of a bitch. But what's that? Wingerden. Yeah, Wintergarden. Same thing. But he just got one for one called Lost in the Zone, which was a Berliner Weiss with ginger and I want to say pear, but I find ginger gets medicinal on you really fast.
I actually would agree with you on that. Like, there's a lot of ginger I have not been a big fan of ginger beers that I thought I would be, and it's just the weird off flavor that you get with it.
Yeah, totally medicinal. Yeah, but we're running out of one. I think I'm going to brew it again soon. It's peanut butter porter.
See, we talked about that one. That one I'm actually really intrigued on.
Yeah, it's got no peanut butter, no peanuts at all. It's a flavoring that comes out of a company in Vermont, and it comes with a certificate of authenticity and guarantees that there is no peanut products in this at all, and it tastes just like peanut butter. I can't sit down and have two or three, but
I need to try that because I just need to. Like, it comes down to that.
It's so accurate that I've got a friend that's deathly allergic to peanuts or any nut, and she said it tasted so accurate she was afraid.
Yeah, I could see why.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've had 8 beers from the brewery you're at right now. I don't say it in case anything ever comes up they get mad at. But Goodbye Gravity, which was the first one. And for me, it was okay. I'd buy it again, was what I gave it. The tropical.
It's just a cream ale with some vanilla added to it.
Yeah, it was a beer.
Yeah, it's an easy drinker.
I loved that one. Apparently,
we still have that one. That used to be our milkshake, and we changed it to Tropical Vibe.
Wheat Pog was another one where I'm like, okay, I'd buy it again, but there's nothing really all that amazing about it.
Yep.
The Sting, I didn't like, apparently. West Coast, I didn't like. And then Bohemian Pilsner, Irish Stout, and Coffee Blonde, and they were all good from me.
Okay. Yeah, the Sting is just a very light lager that we can sell for the hockey team.
Yeah, I knew what it was for. I mean, it wasn't like I was like, oh, this is. I knew that it was meant more for a masses and get a craft beer into an arena and everything else. I mean, a lot of breweries do it. You can get ones for the Kitchener Rangers. You can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, sometimes they turn out really, really well. Sometimes they don't. But I mean, none of these I've really had all that fresh. Most of them have been LCBO pickups by my buddy Brian, and it's while I lived in the Arctic, and he would ship them to me. So, could things have been different? Sure. I don't know how much. I know that handling and everything does matter, but I don't think a lot of them were mishandled. I think it was just, some of them I loved, some of them were okay, and some of them I just wasn't there for.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the Coffee Blonde. I'm thinking that was Goodbye Gravity that was aged on coffee for a little bit. So,
you know what? That's possible because I was looking at my notes while I was saying what I was thinking, and that could be very, very possible.
Yeah. So, I'd love to get a nice Berliner Weiss going, but they're of the mind that people don't really want an overly heavy sour that you can't sit down and drink 2 or 3 of them. And I'm like, no. I can drink 5 or 6 of them. So,
yeah. That's the thing, right? I think a Berliner Weiss isn't a sour beer normally, and the one you made was not.
And ironically, that was at 3.2 pH.
Like I've had a lot of I have some sour beers behind me right now that kind of scare me when I go to drink them. But and you get that difference, right? Like Small Pony Beer Works. I'm not a huge fan of their regular sours. Their smooth line, I think the fruit hides the traditional souring. But that traditional barrel-aged souring, just so acidic and so... I'd rather a lactobacillus sour because you can get that more almost like slight bit of tart and then the biscuitiness and stuff. I like that more than the traditional.
Yes, agreed. And you can back sweeten it with that puree that you're putting in or the fresh fruit that you're putting in. So it takes that bite off.
And that's why I think I like the smooth line from them, but I don't really like their other lines because their other lines, no matter what they put in it, all seem to basically taste the same.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And I've gotten a chance to talk to their owner now too, because I found out that I'm actually friends with a friend of the owner. So we've talked a few times, and he's asked me why I like the one line over the other, and basically the same thing. You can back sweeten with all the puree and everything, and when you're just traditionally souring, it all comes off very, very similar.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Now my daughter is about to move down to Oklahoma, so she's giving me all kinds of new beers to look up.
Oh,
Yeah. They just bought a house around the corner from a brewery because she's a good kid.
see, that's why I had to look at where the breweries were. There's a brewery a 7-minute walk from my door.
There you go. What's the name of the brewery? I believe it's Pioneer Brewery in Oklahoma City. Or Edmonds, yeah. So they're at the Air Force Base, so they're just outside of Oklahoma City.
Nice.
Yeah. And she showed me a bag. She goes, I had to pick up some of this mango Thai beer. I'm going to have to try that one.
I'm trying a mango raspberry beer.
Ooh, how do mango and raspberry go together?
Well, let's find out, shall we? And I know this isn't my science, and like my thing is scientific, but that's actually really good.
Really?
I didn't think it would be.
Mango and raspberry.
I need to see what the color this is, even. Oh, where's my glassware? There we go. Okay, see, I didn't. They must not put a lot of raspberry in because it doesn't have that reddish hue at all. It's right. Hazy and gold. So, I mean, it looks like it would be a mango, and it does taste more mango than raspberry. The raspberry is almost just giving off a little bit of the mango's the sweetness on it. It is a
and they're using the raspberry sour. Tart.
Yeah, the raspberries are the tart, and you're kind of getting that tannic from the seeds.
Prairie, Oklahoma City. Prairie Artisan Brewing.
Ah,
oh, I've heard of them. I've never had anything by them, but I've heard of them.
Yeah, so apparently they loved it so much that they took the house that was near it.
Oh. Well, I have 2 more of these after my review one, so maybe I can send one your way.
Ah.
These guys are in Saskatoon. These guys actually do really well. High Key. I've liked almost everything that I've had by them.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I would never have put mango and raspberry together.
I am with you on that. I never would have thought of doing that either.
Yeah.
And like I said, like by the color, you can tell the mango's there.
Oh, yeah.
There must not be a lot of raspberry in there. Like you don't even get the hue on the head.
Yeah. Are they marketing that as a New England IPA?
No, kettle sour.
Okay.
So lactobacillus and all that fun stuff.
Very nice.
But again, like this is one of those sours that isn't overly sour where you could drink more than one of them. But I know what your owners are talking about. There are beers that you're like, wow, don't want this.
Yep. When I was in Lindsay, I did a 7 hectoliter batch of raspberry Berliner. And I used almost 2 full 20-liter pails of fresh raspberry that I crushed with the great big emulsifier that we had up in the kitchen and poured it straight in. And it looked like brighter than pink Gatorade.
Really?
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah.
I still think one of my favorite, and I'm sort of sad they're done, but one of my favorite raspberry beers ever was Totally from Half Hours on Earth.
Yes.
And I remember that was a beer where I did my low budget, low key, I'm an idiot that drinks in a basement review of. And Jordan was like, thank you for giving that such a high mark. It makes me feel good about it. And I'm like, Jordan, you're actually an author that has credit. You shouldn't ever be looking at me.
That's funny.
But no, it's I if I get back to Ontario anytime soon, I really would love to come out to the brewery. I don't foresee that happening anytime very soon.
No, you're a little far away.
Yeah. And even when I get into Ontario, we'd probably either go into Ottawa or into Toronto. We go to Toronto if we want to save money, because flying from round trip from here to Toronto isn't actually that bad.
Right.
Ottawa is about $300 more a person, but Ottawa is where both of our families are, right? Is in that area. So that's why that usually ends up being our flight.
I hear you. Yeah, both my daughters were in Ottawa for a while, and that's an expensive place to be.
Everything, even outside of Ottawa right now, is fairly expensive. Like Alicia's parents live in Van Cleek Hill.
Right.
And then her uncle's in Ottawa, but in Vanier. And then
both my kids were in Vanier.
Yeah, and the rest of her family's in Arnprior, and then my family's all in the Ottawa Valley or in Ottawa itself. So.
Oh yeah. And I can't remember the brewer. He was I believe he was the same term as Chris. And he's in Stittsville right now at what's the name of that brewery? Brew Revolution.
Stittsville has a brewery now?
Yeah, right behind the Canadian Tire Center.
See, I know there's a brewery in Pakenham, and again, I spent a good deal of years in Arnprior, which is Pakenham region, and they're like, we get our water from the Pakenham Creek, and I'm like, I don't ever want to drink your beer, and they asked me why. I go, I don't know the things I did in that creek. Like, I know what I've done in that creek, so I don't want your beer.
That's funny. Yeah, it was two graduates the term before me, Chris's class. They both went to Brew Revolution. Very interesting setup. They have a Party Guile brew house, and they use Kvike exclusively.
Ooh. Don't know how I would feel about that, but that could be interesting.
Yeah, their beers are delicious. Now the Party Guile, they brew one batch and then use the grains again and again and again to get different strength beers out of the same batch.
Yeah, there's not a lot of breweries that do that, but I love the idea of doing that. Like, make yourself an imperial stout, then make yourself a regular stout, then make yourself a session. Yeah, like I love that idea. Get rid of the waste, and I mean, one of the things that I loved about Steve Innocente, and I know that Innocente Brewing can be a weird topic right now after some of the things that happened in the last few years. But one of the things I loved when he first came over was he was a yeast scientist before he started brewing. So he would do things where he would make the exact same batch of beer, but ferment at a different temperature, and it would make an entirely different beer.
Absolutely.
And I just loved that about his beers, because it was like, hey, I just have one recipe and I can make 5 beers out of that recipe.
Yeah, I hear you. I believe our seltzers are fermented on Kvike, and it comes out super crystal clear.
See, I know it's the big thing right now. I know that it is like the hyped yeast strain right now, but I'm not 100% sold on it. I think I am still a little too old school in how I want my beers to taste.
Yeah.
And some of them I actually drink and I'm like, I really, really like this. And then some I drink and I'm like, yeah, I hate this yeast. And I don't know what temperature is being brewed at. I don't know any of that stuff, right? Because again,
Kvike is a free rise. So you pitch it, Don't turn your glycol on or anything. Let it free rise. I literally touch the manway door on the fermenter, and it's hot.
Wow.
It goes up to 40 degrees. So yeah, it's
Yeah, see, I've
and-
never brewed with it. I brew with mostly English yeast when I brew.
right. Yeah. But yeah, you will have full attenuation in 2.5 to 3 days.
Wow. So that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why Brew Revolution has, I believe they have 18 taps, and they brew 3 times a week. So that's 9 a week. In 2 weeks, they have the taps filled.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they could brew it on Monday, and they're packaging by Friday.
Yeah, and see, the last commercial beer I made was at Cayman Kettle, and it was a like 3-week turnaround from when we brewed it to when we could drink it.
Yep. Yeah. I haven't talked to those guys in a while. I better give them a call.
Yeah, Dave is still doing his thing. He's still awesome as ever. I don't know if Chad is still there. I really hope he is, because the next time I go to Font Hill, I want to play our game that pisses Dave off so much, which is me and him just say over and over again. He's like, "How are you, Chad?" "I'm good, Chad. How are you?" And then just at the end of every sentence, we say this person's name. He tells us we're not allowed to talk to each other anymore. So I really hope he's still there. I know Kyle moved on to Grist in well,
He's no longer there.
he's no longer in Grist.
No.
That's unfortunate. I knew he moved there, but again, it's been so many years since I've really been into the industry.
Yeah. I'm not sure where he was. He was at Brimstone. And
ended up in back. Okay, so this is the thing, right? A lot of these guys just do circles of the Niagara breweries.
yeah.
Like Devin was actually a cast member on my show when we were doing it in Niagara, and then he started working as a cellarman for Innocente, and then he went to Abe Herb, and then he went to Brimstone, and I believe he's working at like 6 different breweries in the Niagara region at this point.
Yeah. We Chad is living in Port Colborne now. I know that.
Okay, so he could still be there, or he might be at Breakwall or something by now.
I'm not sure if he's at Breakwall or not. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask his wife. Her mom just passed away. Sorry to say.
See,
yeah. And she used to come to the Albino Rhino every year. She was there. Yeah. She was.
He would always ask me too, because he would come up to me and he's like, "Hey, can I get tickets for my family?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead, man. You guys host me, whatever you need."
Yeah. So, yeah. I know he was stepping back a little bit because they hired 2 new guys at Came. Yeah. Everybody just moves around so much.
Yeah, and I mean it's weird because I like when Cayman Kettle first opened, Dave did everything, and then Dave was hiring other people to do jobs, and Dave's a good brewer as well. I mean, my biggest complaint with Dave, and I still harass him about this to this day, I actually sent him a text about it, and I sent him a picture, was for one of the Albino Rhino beer festivals, he made an albino beer. And it was entirely adjuncts. But it was not many people know about this beer, so let me see if I can grab a picture of this. Not many people know this thing existed, because he didn't want people to know it existed, because he had me taste it first. And he asked me what it tasted like, and I told him, and it pissed him off, so he wouldn't sell it. Like, he wouldn't bring it to the festival. I'm like, but this is what a festival's about, man. It's about the experience. It's about the spirit of craft beer. Just bring it. It's going to sell out in minutes. So he made an albino beer.
Okay.
And it tasted like drywall spackle. It did. It tasted like drywall spackle. But that stuff would have sold out in minutes at the festival.
Yes.
Like it would have. And he's like, I don't want people thinking that's what I make. Like, just bring it.
Well, I was talking to Jordan St. John's, and he's like, "You were at Cayman Kettle, right?" I'm like, "Yes." And I told him I was going to send him my peach and hot pepper beer. And he's like, "No, you screwed me over last time with that when you were at Cayman Kettle. I'm not letting you do it again."
See, I
So
love
we
a
took,
peach and hot pepper beer.
well, the one at Cayman Kettle was a pumpkin beer for Halloween.
Yes, the pumpkin habanero beer.
The flaming pumpkin. So when we first made it, he went and got 2 of the styrofoam trays that you could get at Food Basics, full of red and green chilies.
Okay.
And he had me chop them up super fine and put them all in. So when you took a sip, your head almost popped off. Ugh. Yeah. So then I wanted to do a nice hot pepper beer in Georgetown. So I got a pepper head from the area, and he sent me a hot sauce. And to say this was hot is doing it an injustice. It had.
I love the giggling in the background behind you.
It had Reapers, Ghosts, Brain Strain, you name it, it was in it. Jalapenos would have cooled this down. So in a 20 hectoliter batch, I put 1 liter in it. No. Yeah. And half of a liter. I'm sorry. I was going to put the full liter in, but I knew it would be too hot. So I put a half in, and then I figured I want some sweet. So I'm going to hit it with the peach. So you'll get the peach on your tongue and then the hot pepper. And it came out fantastic. I called it Diablo.
See, you're making me very jealous that I never had this now.
Yeah, my wife drank it all. We actually had Thai and Indian restaurants coming in and buying it by the case so they could sell it in their restaurants.
Well, because that would go great with Thai food.
It did. Yeah, you would get the original sweetness on your tongue of the peach, and then all of a sudden you're like, where is that tingle coming from? Oh, that's spicy. But the amount that I put in treated it like a good old-fashioned hop, where you take that sip and then you get the hop burn at the back, which is making you take another sip. And that's exactly what the heat was doing. It was making you take another sip. And it was just
would keep building it.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like sweet heat, sweet heat, sweet heat, and you just couldn't stop. And then when I started getting people mixing it with other beers, I had them mixing it with a stout, had them mixing it with a lager. Yeah, they were shocked at the different things that one beer did.
Well, I remember making hot sauce all the time, and I would bring it in. And Dave at one point from Cayman Kettle tried one of my hot sauces, and Dave isn't great with hot, as you probably know.
No, he's not.
And he tried it. He did the like thimble, the toothpick, put it in his mouth. And he goes, "That's really, oh my god, what the heck?" And I mean, I'm stupid, right? Like I've had Carolina Reaper peppers that I've eaten straight. I've had ghost peppers that we used to have. I don't know if you've ever seen the episodes, but we used to have a jar of dried ghost peppers, like a canister.
Right.
And what we would do for anyone new to the show, like anyone that joined the cast, we would shake it up, open it, and they'd have to take a sniff because all the dust was there.
Yeah.
And Yeah, we used to do that all the time, and Dave did it once too, and that was hysterical to me. Just watching him like die.
Well, I had all the kids over for last Thanksgiving. Was it Thanksgiving or Christmas? Christmas. And I made them my wife made a great big thing of chili. Well, I got out the hot sauces for the boys. Russell Brewing. Nice.
Pumpkin pie milkshake IPA.
Yeah, too much going on there for me.
It wasn't a very good beer. I'm just trying to get rid of it at this point.
So I got some of the hot sauce that I used in the beer, and I put it in a ramekin, and I took a small spoon, put it in the chili, mixed it up. My son-in-law looked at it, and he went, "Oh, okay." And he took a spoonful and stirred it in. And then my son took a look at us and went, "Oh, I put the other hot sauce in." So he finished off his bowl like it was nothing. I had forgotten how hot that hot sauce was. And I was turning purple. And the sweat was coming off the top of my head, and I was in pain. And I look over at my son-in-law, and he's just putting scoop after scoop after scoop of chili to calm down this hot sauce. And then my son, of course, goes, "Well, if you two did a spoonful, I'm going to do 2 spoonfuls."
See, that sounds like a hot sauce I would love.
Yeah.
I know that you spent some time in Niagara because you were at the college. Did you ever go to Salatai?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Salatai, as you know, has level 1 to 5.
Yeah.
I would order level 50.
I actually go in and ask them to make it like you make it at home.
Yeah, like I remember the first time I said level 50, they're like, "What do you want?" I'm like, I want it to burn going in, and I want it to burn going out. They looked at me funny. But anytime I'd order it from then on, like even now, it's been 7 years since I've been in the Niagara region, and if I'm in Niagara and I order it and I say level 50, whoever's on the phone's like, "Hi, Chad, how are you?" Like, I'm good.
That's awesome. We were in Oshawa and found a little Thai place in a strip mall. And I could tell right away it was going to be a good place because the little old lady cooking in the back was running the cash, was doing everything, and the takeout orders were flying out. So we were eating in, and I got the coconut chicken soup. And she said, "How hot do you want it?" I said, "Like you would make it in Thailand." She goes, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." She brought it out, brought everybody's food, and then sat down with us.
She wanted to see how you felt.
And she looks at me, she goes and does something and comes back, and the soup's halfway done. She goes, "Well, how is it?" I said, "Oh, it's really good." And with that, I looked at my arm, and all the hair on my arm was standing up. And I started getting a little warm, and she said, "Oh, the heat's coming in now." She knew. Yeah.
No, and I love it, right? Like, because a lot of times you'll go, like, I'll even go I love Indian, I love Thai, I love all that stuff. And I'll go into an Indian restaurant and I'm like, "I want it extra spicy." And they'll look at me and I'm like, "No, not white man spicy, okay? I want it spicy."
Yep.
Like, I want it to hurt. That's what I want. And they're like, "Why?" I go, "I like it. I don't know why. I just do. Just accept it."
Yeah. Embrace it. Give me it.
Yeah.
The best thing about living
if I ever order on Skip the Dishes, I can say extra. I just get like regular, and I'm like, this is. But when I go in and I can actually talk to them, that's when they're like, they try, because I'm like, not white man, so they try because they want to see what reaction they get. And sure, I'm albino, I go fucking red, like I do, but
yeah, right?
I love it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, give me more."
Gonna die. He's gonna die right here at the counter.
My wife is like, yeah, you're cut off tonight. You don't get to do anything but sleep. I'm like, oh, come on.
The best thing about living in the Georgetown area was living at Brampton and Mississauga. And the brewery used to have snacks, same as Cayman Kettle used to before Righteous Monger. And they had samosas. And I loved the samosas. They were fantastic. So I asked them where we got them. And they told me the place. And we went and looked for it. And it was a grocery store. And I'm like, oh, great. They're pre-made grocery store crap. And I noticed all these kids going in the back door of this grocery store. But when you looked around the corner, it was actually a little restaurant. So my wife and I went in, and they were I would say they were between 25 and 35 years of age. 3 ladies standing behind the counter arguing. And I could tell it was, who's going to take care of the white guy? So then this lady who was just a little bit older than them came out and says, I got these guys. So, of course, we love biryani. So we got the lamb biryani. And my wife likes the paneer. So we got a nice paneer dish, a spicy one. And then I just said, and whatever else you would suggest. And man, she loaded us up with some food like you would not believe. It was actually an Indian and Hakka restaurant. So they knew their spices. And I think we went back about 10 times. And we got the same lady to serve us. And every time I just say, whatever you think, your suggestions have been fantastic. I would walk out of there with 3 full grocery bags full of food that she said, I'll give you a sample of this, sample of this, sample of this. And she charged me $50.
I need to find that type of restaurant.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing, right? Like I like going in more than like Niagara Falls had Moksha. Moksha was my favorite Indian restaurant in all of Niagara Falls. The Guru, that was the parents of the people that own Moksha, but even the Guru didn't stand up to Moksha to me.
Right.
And I used to order on the phone all the time, and they knew who I was by the phone. But once I started going in and actually eating in, that's when I started getting amazing service on even my orders from the phone. Because as soon as they knew who I was and that, I was here and I wanted to try everything, it was that type of thing. It was like, hey, here you go. We'll make it as spicy as you want. We'll do whatever you want. Like,
yep. Love when you find a place like that.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Irish, right? It's supposed to be meat and potatoes and nothing else, but I love my ethnic food. It is what I live for.
Yeah. Actually, the German heritage.
Neither of my kids like it. Like the 2 that live with me, neither of them like it. So we don't go out much unless me and my wife are on a date night to anything ethnic, because she loves it too. Like she really does. Thing is, like, just like anything, like I find Chinese, Indian, Thai, all that type of stuff, it's either really good or it's really not. And you don't know what you're going to get until you go into a place.
Yep. So being pretty much diabetic, we stick to Vietnamese and Thai. I had Chinese when I went to go visit my parents in Niagara last weekend. It spiked my blood sugar so high that 2 days later I was still over 7.
Yeah, my wife is type 2, so we do have to be careful.
Yeah.
But I'm actually amazed I'm not anything, because my grandfather was type 2, my mother was type 1, I'm amazed that I'm not, and I have not been as careful as I should be. And I'm getting older, like I'm in my 40s. I should be more careful, but until a doctor actually tells me I'm in trouble, I probably won't be because I'm a stupid Irishman. But it is what it is. I mean, for you it must suck too, because again, you're in the beer industry, and I mean, beer is the worst alcohol for a diabetic for the most part.
But I've never been a big drinker.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I will sample. I will do my tasting notes, and I will enjoy it. But I like when my friends come up here and we all go out. I'm the DD.
Okay.
Like I will have a sip, have a sample, take notes, and love it. But I just,
Okay. Well, like for me, again, I usually don't do much when I do my reviews because I'm alone. I do between 2 and 3 beers usually a night if I review.
Yeah.
So it's not horrendous. I mean, most people's sampling would be the equivalent of 2 or 3 beers. When I'm with a group, like when we used to do the videos in the basement and we would have like 12 people, we would do like 20 beers a night, but everybody was getting a little bit of the beer, right?
Yeah.
There was 2 of us on the camera, but everybody had some. So it was, you were still doing about 2 or 3 beers, maybe 4 beers in total, whenever we reviewed. My hangout, like tonight, the Saturday night hangout, is either I'm doing my podcast with Chris or I'm hanging out with buddies and talking, like shooting shit. This is when I drink. And even this, I mean, 6 beers is what I'll end up having.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm close to that right now.
Being a distiller, I'll sit here and I'll just crack a bottle of whiskey and there it goes.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Like I don't touch hard liquor. I think we've talked before about why I don't touch hard liquor. I've done some stupid things with hard liquor, so I don't touch it. But I do love it. I won't lie, I do love it. I'm Irish. Whiskey is my thing, but I stay the fuck away from it, and my wife makes sure I stay away from it.
See, I'm a Scotch guy. I can't do the Irish whiskey. It's too distilled for me. I like the harsher Scotch.
See, when it comes to Scotch, I liked, because I don't know if I still do. I mean, as you age, your your palate changes. But Isla was my way. I wanted the smoky, peaty stuff.
Yeah, so you'd be a Lafroy guy.
Yeah, Lafroy guy.
Like licking an ashtray.
I was more I liked Lagavulin 16 was my favorite.
Nice.
But yeah, I would do a lot of different scotches, but Lagavulin was my favorite of all the scotches.
See, I don't stick to one. I usually see what the LCBO is, what they have going on, because they get some of the best scotches in the world.
The LCBO, as much as you can hate on the LCBO for their neglect of beer, you are correct. Scotch, they are a fucking king on Scotch.
Oh, they get bottles like nobody's business. I had Andy. She used to work for great big champagne company. I can't remember. Anyway, she is one of the. I think she's the head of the distilling now at Niagara, and she was at one of the distilleries. I believe it was Glenfiddich, I believe. And she looked up on the wall and they had all their old bottles up there. And she goes, "Oh, they have the Fire and Ice there." And the
we had Fire and Ice at Niagara casinos.
Yeah. It wasn't Fire and Ice. It was something Fire and Phoenix or something. It was a really rare one. And the guy said, "Yeah, we don't serve that one. It's very expensive." She's like, "I have a bottle at home." And he almost crapped himself. "How do you have a bottle at home?" So she told him she got it from the discount portion of the LCBO. Which one's that one?
Medicine Hat Brewing Company's Pineapple Sour.
Oh, nice. See, now pineapple sours nicely.
It does. You are correct. Continue your story. Sorry, I wasn't trying to.
Oh, no problem. And he said, well, how much did you pay for it? Because here it's 3,000 euros for the bottle. And we only have about 125 left. She said, I have 2 bottles that I paid 65 Canadian dollars for. He almost died. So yeah, they will get some rare stuff and it won't sell and they will put it on sale and people just miss out completely. I got one Orlin or something like that. It's a it's on the space side. And it was finished in sherry cask. It was fantastic. It was like regular $200 a bottle. I got it on sale for $75. Yeah, you can get deals like that all the time there.
So what I'm going to say to you right here is when you send me some of the stuff you made, I'm going to send you some stuff from Saskatchewan and Alberta because we can get a lot.
That was good.
I'm going to send you one of these. I broke my rule. I don't normally drink something I haven't had before on this because I like to go into all my reviews completely blind. To Medicine Hat Brewing, I'm sorry, that is fucking disgusting. Oh my god.
Oh,
it tastes like throw up. Like,
oh, that's the lactobacillus. They got it aerated.
oh yeah, no.
It tastes like baby puke.
No, I don't dump beers.
I would dump that immediately.
Yeah, it's gone. Oh my god.
Oh, do not send me one of those. Do not empty your refrigerator and send that to me.
Oh. And I'm going to have to review that still.
Your face went pure red and you stopped talking. And I'm like, that's either spectacular or absolute crap.
It wasn't spectacular.
Oh. Somebody let oxygen get in the lactobacillus.
No, it was baby. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I know that taste exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Wash it back with something else.
Yeah. Lindemann's Pet Peach.
Oh, nice. The peach. Okay.
Yeah, this will wash out, I'm sure.
You are right into a sour night, aren't you?
I just grabbed random beers and I didn't think things through. I still taste it. Oh,
that's too bad.
Well, and motherfucker. No, I'm not drinking this. I forgot.
You don't have a corkscrew.
Not down here. No, I'm not going upstairs. So,
well, you can always shear it off.
Nah, we have a Lake of Bays alt beer down.
Come on, do the saber.
I don't have anything to saber it with.
Sure you do. Any knife will do it.
I know it looks like I'm in the kitchen because there's a fridge behind me. But this is the basement apartment, which is our bedroom. There's nothing here but the fridge.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Sounds like it's digesting things. Oh, that beer was so gross. I mean, I've had beers that are considered bad, and I normally don't go, "Oh my god, that's so gross." But that was so gross.
Oh, I literally can feel that pain.
And I'm going to hate it because now I know what it tastes like, and I'm going to have to review it, and I'm going to have to try and be open-minded as I review it.
I would just give it the old smell test and then just be like, guys, I can't review this because I know what it's going to taste like.
No, the internet is going to see that red face you saw.
Yeah.
It's going to see it. I'm going to try to drink the whole can, and I don't think I can. I don't know what I'm going to do with the
Oh
other
no,
can.
no, 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 no.
I'm going to try. I'm going to fail, but I'm going to try.
Damn.
And I know some people that work at Lake of Bays, but I never thought I'd say this. This Lake of Bays beer is like a 10 out of 10 compared to what I just drank.
Wow, it had to be real bad.
Yeah.
Uh.
I would actually go on and drink a Minhos beer.
Well, my friend, I should let you go.
Alrighty.
My New York Rangers are in the third period and they're down 1-0.
Alrighty, sir. You have a lovely night. Thank you for joining us.
Anytime.
All right. Good night, sir.
Take care, buddy.
Bye. All right. What do we have watching us right now? 2 of you. Nobody's commented the entire night. I'm amazed. Thank you guys for watching. Have a lovely evening. I don't know what to say other than this was gross. I'm not happy. I'm not happy of what I just drank. I'm not happy. Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than that. It was not something I wanted to ingest. I didn't realize it wasn't something I wanted to ingest until I tried to ingest it. And yeah. I really hope that this video did go live. Again, no comments makes me wonder if it did. But it is what it is. I'm going to turn everything off now. So if you are live, it's going to go away. Thank you again. Thank you, Tim. Bye-bye.